Hold on. Before we start, answer me this. When was the last time you cleared the chamber? Because if it's been more than 48 hours, you might be walking around with what scientists are now calling expired ammunition. And no, I'm not joking. What if I told you that everything you've been told about saving it up to improve your chances of having a baby is actually dead wrong? For decades, the standard advice for men has been to abstain from sexual activity for several days before trying to conceive. You've probably seen the viral trends online, movements where thousands of men avoid ejaculation for an entire month, claiming it gives them superpowers like laser focus, massive testosterone boosts, and elite-level fertility.
Bunch. Who wants a cuddle?
Some guys online are acting like they've unlocked the secrets of the universe just because they haven't touched themselves in 30 days. They're out here saying things like, "Bro, I can see through walls now. I just bench 500 pounds. Women can smell my pheromones from across the street." But the latest scientific findings tell a completely different story.
I agree. The correlation here is strong, but let's check the control group stats.
It turns out, those guys might be doing more harm than good, at least when it comes to fertility. Scientists have discovered that sperm has a strict use-by date. If you don't clear the shells regularly, you are essentially left with a batch of rotting eggs inside your reproductive system. Today, we are going to dive deep into why frequent ejaculation is actually the unexpected key to male fertility. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to look at those 30-day challenge guys very differently. But before we get into the science, quick question. Do you think abstaining improves or destroys sperm quality? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I'm genuinely curious what you believe before we reveal what the research actually says. The ticking clock myth. The conversation around reproduction has almost always centered on female biology. We often hear it described as a ticking clock. We talk about how women are born with their lifetime supply of eggs, meaning a woman's age is essentially the same as the age of her eggs. As the clock ticks, those eggs age, and the risks for complications increase. But for men, the story was always assumed to be different. Because men produce sperm continuously from puberty onwards, making anywhere from 50 to 100 million new cells every single day. The assumption was that male fertility was a fountain of youth. Infinite ammo, endless supply, no expiration date. We thought we had the biological equivalent of a factory that never shuts down. However, we now know that while the production line never stops, the storage facility has some major flaws. After sperm is produced in the testes, it is moved to a coiled tube called the epididymis. Think of it like a warehouse. The sperm sits there for about 2 weeks, just waiting for its moment, waiting to fulfill its biological destiny. And it is right here, in this storage phase, where the trouble begins. Because unlike Amazon's warehouses with climate control and logistics optimization, your body's sperm storage system is more like a forgotten garage in Florida during summer. No AC, no preservation tech, just deterioration. Now, stay with me here, because this next part is where everything you thought you knew gets flipped upside down. The abstinence myth. Does abstinence actually help? For a long time, medical guidelines suggested that avoiding ejaculation for 2 to 7 days was the gold standard. The logic was simple. The longer you wait, the higher the count. More sperm equals better chances, right? And while it is true that waiting increases the volume of the ejaculate, yes, you get more. Recent analysis of data from tens of thousands of men shows that more does not mean better. In fact, when men abstain for long periods, the quality of that sperm drops significantly. The cells effectively age and deteriorate while they wait. It's like showing up to a race with a massive team of runners, but half of them are using walkers and the other half forgot their shoes. Sure, you've got numbers, but numbers don't win the race. Think of it like a grocery store. If the manager only restocks the shelves once a week to ensure the aisles look full, the items at the front are going to be expired by the time you buy them. You might have a full shelf, but you can't make a meal with rotten ingredients. Nobody's trying to cook dinner with expired milk and moldy bread. As storage time increases, two critical things happen: sperm motility, their ability to swim, and sperm viability, the percentage of cells that are actually alive, both begin to plummet. So you're not just getting older sperm, you're getting slower, weaker, and in some cases, literally dead sperm. The DNA damage reveal. But here's where it gets really concerning. The most alarming discovery involves the genetic material itself. The longer sperm sits in the body, the more its DNA becomes damaged. Now, this isn't just about weak swimmers. This is about the actual genetic blueprint that gets passed on to your future child. We're talking about fragmented DNA, mutations, and cellular damage that could affect conception rates and even pregnancy outcomes. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the two biological assassins responsible for destroying sperm in storage. Assassin number 1, oxidative stress. The first assassin is something called oxidative stress. You can think of this as a form of biological rust. Just like an old car left out in the rain will start to corrode and break down, sperm cells that stay in the reproductive tract for too long begin to accumulate physical damage. Imagine leaving your bike outside all winter. When spring comes, the chain's rusted, the gears are stuck, and good luck getting that thing to move smoothly. That's what's happening to your sperm when they sit too long. Because sperm cells have a very limited ability to repair themselves compared to other cells in the body, this rust is permanent. Once the damage is done, the cell is compromised. There's no repair crew coming. There's no maintenance department. It's done. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about the second assassin. This one's even more brutal. Assassin number 2, energy depletion. The second assassin is energy depletion. Sperm are high-performance cells. They are built for a single, high-speed mission. Think of them like Formula One race cars. They're engineered for speed, precision, and one lap around the track. Unlike almost every other cell in your body, they have a very tiny fuel tank and almost no way to refill it. They are designed to be produced, stored briefly, and then used. That's it. When they are forced to sit in the storage tubes for extended periods, they simply run out of gas. They exhaust their energy reserves just trying to stay alive in the waiting room. It's like telling a sprinter to stand at the starting line for 3 days straight before the race even begins. By the time the gun goes off, they're already exhausted. By the time these sperm are finally called into action, they don't have the energy left to complete the journey to the egg. They are effectively stalled before the race even begins. They're like that friend who says he's ready to go to the gym, but by the time you pick him up, he's already tired from thinking about the workout. Quick pause. Before we continue, as we are talking about men's health and well-being, here's something worth knowing. If you've been feeling frustrated or even embarrassed about changes in bedroom performance, sensitivity, stamina, or desire, you're not alone. And it's not your fault. There's a 100% natural solution that's already helped thousands of men feel confident and energized again. No pills, no injections, no procedures, no surgery, no risky shortcuts. Just a simple, easy home remedy you can make at home, designed to support what researchers are now calling the manhood molecule, a key factor for arousal, blood flow, and lasting power. Find out more. There's a link in the description and in the pinned comment. Check it out. It could be the very thing you've been looking for. Okay, let's return to today's topic. The biological rule. Now here's the kicker. This isn't just a human problem. This is a fundamental rule of biology. When scientists looked at dozens of different species, from birds and bees to reptiles and other mammals, the result is always the same. Stored sperm deteriorates. Across the board. No exceptions. Mother Nature designed sperm for quick turnover, not long-term storage. Interestingly, scientists found that sperm actually survives better inside the female reproductive tract than it does in the male. Yeah, you heard that right. Your sperm is literally safer in someone else's body than it is in yours. In some species, like ants and bees, the females have specialized organs that can store sperm for months or even years. Why? Because those females have evolved to secrete powerful antioxidants that fight off the biological rust. They've got preservation technology built in. Men, unfortunately, did not get that biological upgrade. We don't have those preservation organs, which means our sperm has a much shorter shelf life. We basically got the budget version of the reproductive system. No extended warranty. No premium features, just basic. Alright, so now that we know the problem, what's the solution? And no, it's not just abstain harder. The solution. So, what is the remedy for this silent fertility killer? The answer is simple. You have to hit the refresh button. Frequent ejaculation, whether through sexual activity or masturbation, provides an essential adaptive benefit. It effectively flushes out the old, rusty, and out-of-fuel sperm. By clearing the pipes regularly, you ensure that the body is forced to provide fresh, high-energy cells that have had the least amount of time to accumulate damage. It's like clearing your browser cache. Out with the old, corrupted files, in with the fresh data. Recent evidence suggests that the 2 to 7 day rule might be outdated. In fact, many experts now believe that ejaculating within 48 hours of trying to conceive or providing a sample for fertility treatments leads to much better outcomes. Yes, you read that correctly. 48 hours. Not a week. Not a month. 2 days. By reducing the abstinence period, you are prioritizing the A-team, the fastest, healthiest, and most genetically sound cells your body can produce. You're not rolling up to the fertilization Olympics with your bench players. You're bringing LeBron, Steph Curry, and the entire starting lineup. What you can control. It is important to acknowledge that many factors affecting fertility are out of our control. We deal with environmental toxins, daily stress, aging, and our own genetics. We're swimming in microplastics. We're sitting all day. We've got phones in our pockets cooking us from the inside. The world is not designed for optimal sperm health. But the duration of sperm storage? That is one of the few things that is entirely within a man's control. You can't control pollution. You can't rewrite your DNA. But you can absolutely control how often you flush the system. The no-nut myths that circulate online are often based on a misunderstanding of how the body works. While they focus on a temporary boost in count, they ignore the massive trade-off in quality. If your goal is fertility and reproductive health, the science is clear. Stagnation is the enemy. Freshness is the goal. Think of your reproductive system like a river. A flowing river is clean, oxygenated, and full of life. A stagnant pond, that's where things start to rot. All right, let's bring it all home. Here's everything you need to remember from today's video. Let's do a quick recap of what we've covered today. First, remember that sperm has a use-by date. It is not a fine wine. It does not get better with age. It's more like sushi. Fresh is best. Old is dangerous. Second, the two main causes of damage are oxidative stress, which is biological rust, and energy depletion, which is running out of fuel. These are the two silent assassins destroying your fertility from the inside. Third, these two factors lead to lower motility, lower viability, and higher DNA damage. Translation, slower swimmers, more dead cells, and damaged genetic material. And finally, the solution is to flush the system frequently to ensure that only the freshest cells are used for fertilization. Aim for ejaculation within 48 hours of trying to conceive for optimal results. Taking control of your health means looking past the myths and focusing on the biological reality of how our bodies function. It means ignoring the brothers on the internet who think not masturbating for a month is going to turn them into Captain America. By understanding the use-by date of these cells, you can make informed decisions that actually support your goals, whether that's starting a family or just optimizing your reproductive health for the long term. If you found this breakdown of the latest reproductive science helpful, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are dedicated to breaking down complex science into information you can actually use. And here's a question for you. Were you surprised by the use-by date concept? Did this completely flip your understanding of male fertility? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Also, if you want more content like this that breaks down the science behind men's health after 40, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And stay tuned for more deep dives into the science of your health. And remember, when it comes to sperm, fresh beats stockpiled every single time.